Why me? Why the child? Why the child have to die? You know, I still think about that one. But God don't think like me and you. You know, one of the things I might want to say, well, God, couldn't you did it some other kind of way, or like after a good question, I'm like, God, couldn't you could have chose somebody else or stood to me? We as a Christian in the earth, we at war with the devil. A spiritual war. The devil is in the world. I don't care what nobody says. We got an opposition.
He said at the conclusion of the 2 hours, he had been in contact with the boy's chest, that he rose up and saw that the boy didn't move, that he was soaked in sweat, the boy was soaked in sweat, that the boy, others said he's not breathing. They undertook to try to get him breathing. They couldn't summon to help, paramedics, 911. They could not restore the boy. Police were summoned and a criminal investigation initiated.
When I get there, the ambulance was there with Junior, as my husband had said, and I began to pray. I just got on my knees on the parking lot and began to pray because I didn't know the whole story.
First, an 8-year-old boy died. That's the first tragedy. There was a heartbroken mother who obviously loved and cherished this child. Third, there's Mr. Hemphill, who was a tragedy also, who undertook it in good faith, engaged in conduct that the jury, our office and the jury believed recklessly caused this boy's death.
He was trying to do good. He wasn't acting recklessly for all those reasons that I mentioned, and that he didn't cause the death anyway.
What could you have done wrong? Because you went out in faith, you had the best intentions. What kind of things did you question that happened?
Like ask myself, did I lay on him? But which I knew I didn't. I knew for sure I didn't. So, but
he knew he was hurting the child. The child was struggling. The child was trying to get away. The child had to be restrained. But did it matter to Ray Hemphill? Did Ray Hemphill care? Did Ray Hemphill let that child get up?
And as far as physically manhandling and whipping with belts or crosses or whatever, never. And that God is the only one that can deliver and set free. Not medicate, but deliver and set free. Autism is when you have a sickness and you're not in control. You can't control it or the sickness. So anything that you can't control is a possession. It's either God or the devil. God is not an evil force. God doesn't do any violence. This force was an evil force.
This child was prescribed an adult medication. When the dosage reached its peak, bad things happened.
It's a standard treatment for autism. I believe they, in fact, engaged a witness from Chicago who came up and testified that that person believed it was the drug. The medical examiner testified that the boy died of mechanical asphyxiation, which means basically the boy was on a floor which wouldn't yield, and something above him constrained his chest from expanding so he could draw in breath.
You could feel, if you put pressure on somebody, you know.
Yeah. And that wasn't what you were...
And when I was being, like I was telling the detective, I said, no, I was not laying on him. She kept saying that.
Who said that?
The detective.
In the medicine. I said, that's the only difference in the 5 prayers they had that had happened. That day he had medicine, but the other 5 days they prayed, he did not have medication.
If he contends that he could continue this ritual of laying on the boy over a protracted period of time under these circumstances, a struggling, crying out child, shouting child, I would believe that he is jeopardizing life. He's continuing to jeopardize life.
But remember now, Jesus has the power of life and death. We don't have that power. Even though he gives us power to call out devils, we don't have the power to who lives and who don't.
look at death, we automatically view it as a bad thing. Now we come to, I look at where did Terrence go? And in our society, we view people that you die, you go to heaven. Heaven's supposed to be a joyful bliss place. So we come back, and I believe in heaven and that, you know. And to me, on that idea, Terrence got the better deal.
It said, "Go ye therefore and preach the gospel. Them that believe have these signs. They shall be able to lay hands on the sick. If they drink any deadly thing, it won't harm them. And they shall be able to speak with new tongues and shall be able to cast out devils."